Welcome to Invest Insights. I'm Abby Maloney. I'm joined today by Michael Mittelman, the president of Salus University. Michael, thank you so much for being here today.
Abby, thanks for having me. It's a real pleasure.
Awesome. Well, let's begin. Being the first non-medical doctor to serve as combatant command surgeon in the U.S. Pacific Command, you had to become familiar with thinking on your feet. How has that experience translated into your leadership model at Salus University and creativity in meeting students' needs?
Yeah, that's a great question. I've been a clinician for 45 years and seeing patients and doing all sorts of things. And of course, when I was in the Navy, I ran health systems. So the transition to Salus was actually fairly seamless. Much like the military in academia, you really have to adjust to conditions. And, the pandemic certainly taught me that and taught all of us that. So thinking on our feet, it's actually ingrained in all of us. Coming out of the Navy, certainly I was well prepared. But coming into academia, it's a matter of understanding what the students' needs are and what our patients' needs are, and then working through all of the individual challenges that come forward to us. But frankly, it's why I come to work every day, and I believe that's why our staff comes to work every day. It's because of the challenges that we have, but also the solutions that we're able to come up with that are not only creative, but they really are able to benefit all of our students and the patients that we care for. That's what makes it all worthwhile. So yeah, I would say the military training certainly helped, but coming to academia is, it's just been fantastic. The students keep you on your toes. They keep you young.
Sure. Healthcare knowledge is advancing at an extraordinarily fast pace, doubling every 30 days. How are healthcare programs in higher education reinventing curriculum and professional development opportunities to keep up with this influx of information and meeting the industry's evolving demand for workers?
Abby, that's another fantastic question. At Salus, we really pride ourselves in being innovators. Our Pennsylvania College of Optometry has defined the way the optometric profession is practiced, frankly, for the last 100 years. So we've always been ahead of the power curve. I think the pandemic has pushed the envelope even more so. And what we do is, clearly, like most other institutions, we're following the literature, we're going to professional meetings. And what we've been able to do here at Salus, because we're fairly small and fairly agile, is we've been able to implement hybrid training very quickly. So our students have opportunities to either work from home or work, in the classrooms. We've actually done telehealth in all of our clinical programs. And in doing so, that enables us to stay ahead of the power curve. And with all this, we're also paying very closely attention to the changes in metaverse and virtual learning. That goes hand in hand with hybrid training. And we're hoping to infuse that into our curriculum within the next couple of years. It's a fun challenge to have because the students are pushing us, to think more innovatively and to think more creatively, but so are our faculty. And consequently, working very closely together, we're able to put together programs that are able to meet today's needs, but also look over the horizon into what, 5, 10, 15 years down the road might in fact be.
Model of higher education is transforming and competition is rising. At Salus University, what creative next steps are being explored in the effort to remain competitive and effective as an institution of higher education?
What we have done here at Salus, and we did this starting in 2017, we started doing what's called scenario planning. It's a process that I was able to take from my days in the military. And what we looked at was alternate futures. And what we did was we developed 4 different scenarios around the plane of higher education and then the American healthcare system. And based on that, we're able to, we never get it right, but each one of these scenarios was based in some semblance of reality. And consequently, by looking at the scenarios and then putting that next to our strategic plan, we were able to actually map out what the possible futures for our institution might be to embrace competition, to embrace changes in medical practice, to embrace changes in higher education. All of the demographics are changing for us. When I went to school 40 some years ago, most of the people in my class looked just like me. Today, most of the people look more like you. Matter of fact, we are 80% female, 20% male, with a much more diverse mix of different interracial groups in all of our curricula, which is fabulous. But going through the scenario planning process has enabled us to plan for that. As a matter of fact, as we came into the pandemic, the reason we were able to quickly pivot so quickly to a hybrid model is because we actually embraced that during the scenario planning, never envisioning a pandemic, of course, but because we talked about it, put it in our strategic plan, and then actually invested in infrastructure, we were ready to make the pivot. We didn't stop at that. We just completed another scenario planning exercise looking at the lessons learned throughout the pandemic. And with that, we hope that we're staging ourselves for the next 5 to 10 years down the road, even 15 years down the road. But we're just completing our focus groups. And within the next few months, we'll update our strategic plan so that we'll be able to embrace what might come next.
As we round out today's discussion, what are some unique ways that you're fostering creative thinking across Salus University now and in the future?
Well, I already mentioned the scenario planning that we're doing, but the other thing that we're doing is we're embracing our student, faculty, and staff groups individually. And it's just like Deming used to teach. You know, the people who are actually doing the work understand the processes the best. And by directly communicating and directly embracing smaller groups, we are bringing in new innovative ideas into the way we're doing clinical education and to the way we're actually managing our clinics and then doing creative education. So, you know, there's not one smart person in the room at any given time. There's a host of smart people. And here, that's a game changer for us. The amount of ideas that come out of these small group discussions are absolutely amazing. And that's pushing us towards things that we really never would have thought of individually. So, and I think that really what is one of the things that really differentiates us as an institution, you know, because as I mentioned earlier, we're smaller, we're agile, and we're able to make changes, we're able to experiment and move forward more quickly. You know, as we embrace metaverse type of teaching and learning, we're hoping to lead the way there, not only in didactic education, but clinical education. Very few schools are going to be able to do that very quickly. We will.
Thank you very much, Mike.
Thank you. I really appreciate the opportunity to brag a little bit about Salus.
That was Michael Mittelman, the president of Salus University. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel so you can hear other CEOs and thought leaders share their opinions and advice on the current business climate. Until next time, I'm Abby Malone, and this has been Invest Insights. Thanks for tuning in.